This is a review for the upcoming tests. Number one, we're going to find the domain. And the domain will be the x value. So we have 1, 3, 5. 1 is repeated, so you don't have to do that again. So you have 6. The range is 4, 2. 2 is repeated again, so I'm not going to do that one. -8 and 7. The question is it a function? And you notice that 1 is paired with 4 and 1 is paired with -8, so it's not a function. Number two, we're going to find the domain. So the domain is 7, 4, -3, 1, and 2, which are the x values. And the range is 4, 9, 1, 7, and 8. And it is a function because each x value is paired with one y value. Evaluate each function for the given value of x. Write the input x and the output in an ordered pair. Okay, so what I did is I input 5 into the function, and then you have -2 times 5, which gives you -10, plus 11. -10 plus 11 gives you 1. So the input is 5, the output is 1. So the ordered pair is 5, 1. So you notice here I went ahead and input 8 into the function. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply 8 times 4, which gives you 32 over 3 minus 2 over 3. You notice that they both have the same denominator. 32 minus 2 is 30. Over 3, which will give you 10. State the domain and the range of the function using specified notation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a graphing calculator to graph f of x equal -x plus 5. And you know it's linear. You notice that the graph is decreasing and you have arrows on either side. So let me tell you what the domain is. The domain will be from the lowest x value, which is -infinity, to +infinity. So the domain will be all reals. The range goes from -infinity to +infinity, so the range will be all reals. Uh, 2x minus 3 is also linear, so I'm going to graph it right now. Okay, your domain will be from -infinity to +infinity. Of course, you have brackets, and it's all real numbers. It goes from -infinity to +infinity. The range is from -infinity to +infinity. So here's -infinity and +infinity. For number 7, we have the following graph. And you notice that it keeps on going further to the left side. So it goes from -infinity up to 2. So if I wanted to figure out the domain and it wants it in interval notation, it's going to be -infinity up to 2, and you have a comma, bracket. Range, the lowest is -infinity. We know it's over here, -infinity. And the highest y value, once again, is 2. For number 8, we know that it goes from negative infinity for the domain. The lowest is negative infinity. The highest is positive infinity. Negative infinity to positive infinity. So the domain goes from negative infinity to positive infinity. The range is different. The lowest y value is -1, and it goes towards positive infinity. So it wants it in set notation. So this would be all reals. And this would be y is greater than or equal to -1. Make a mapping diagram and graph for a mapping graph and a graph for the relation 1, 3, -2, -2, 1, 4, and 0, 1. So let me go ahead and do that. So we have 1, -2, and we have 1 again, and then we have 0. So it's 1, -2, 1, and 0. So this is your x value, and there's your y value. So y value, we have 3, -2, 4, and 1. So it's 4 and 1. So 1 is mapped with 3. -2 is mapped with -2. 1 is mapped with 4. So that tells you this will not be a function, and 0 is mapped with 1. So it's not a function, okay? Now, if you want to make a graph, you have 1, 1, 2, 3. So there's your dot. -2, -2. So here's your dot. 1, 4. Here's your dot. 0, 1, and here's your dot. So there's your 4 points. And this is the y-axis, and this is the x-axis. I had x plus 3y equals -1. I went ahead and solved for y. So I subtract x from both sides, and I have -x minus 1. And then the next step is to divide by 3. So I have y equals -x over 3 minus 1/3. And if I were to graph this, it would look something like this. Automatically, D is all real numbers. And then R, the range, is also all reals. Okay, number 11, find the domain, the range, and the intercepts. So for these two examples, I'm going to find domain and range. I'll leave it up to you to find the intercepts. But I know that f of x equal 2x cubed looks like this. And the intercept is, and the x and y intercept are 0, 0. So 0, 0 are the x and the y intercepts, so I'm going to say intercepts. The domain, since the arrows mean forever, or they go forever on the left and the right, and also down and up. In either direction, they go on forever. So the domain is going to be all reals, and the range is all real numbers. Number 12, go ahead and use your calculator. I'm going to kind of sketch it here. And it has a y-intercept of 2. It goes down 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, over 2. And there's a sketch. I know that the y-intercept is 0, 2. I'll leave it up to you to find the x-intercept. The domain Since it has arrows, it goes in either direction, it's going to be all reals. And the range is all real numbers too. You're going to find the minimum and maximum values of f of x in the given interval. If I were to draw a table, like I did there, it wouldn't matter what values you have for the y, because the y is going to stay the same. It's going to be 2/3, 2/3, 2/3. It doesn't matter what you have for the x, that's what I mean. This will not have a minimum nor maximum. In fact, this is just a horizontal. This is just a horizontal line. So it doesn't have a max or a min. In contrast, the number 14, it does have a max or a min. It is a quadratic. So you notice I drew the quadratic there, and I drew a table there, and I'm going from 3, and I'm going to 9, right? And I want to know what's going to be the max y value and the minimum y value. Well, this is going to be the minimum y value, and this will be the maximum y value over this interval. We're going from 3 to 9. So it's going to be 3/9 is your minimum, 981 is your maximum, these two order pairs. Okay, what are the minimum and maximum values for f of x equal 4x plus 3? So go ahead and make a table. Okay, you notice I made a table, and the interval is from -2 to 5, and you notice that 5, well actually 5 is not the lowest. Wait, I lied. That's -5. 4 times -2 is -8 plus 3 is -5. This is the lowest, so this is going to be your minimum point. Your minimum point is -2, and you notice your maximum point is 523. And I made a table because I didn't have a calculator, but you don't have to use, you can use Desmos, but I did one just to show you. So this is how you find your min and max over this interval. Okay, you're going to input these values into the function. So f of -3 is 2/5 times -3 minus 2, and so it's -6/5 minus 2, and if I'm not mistaken, -6/5 minus 10/5, because 10/5 is 2. So you have -16/5. The next one is f of 0. So you're going to input into the function. So you have 2/5 times 0 minus 2. By the way, you could use a calculator. 2/5 times 0 is 0, so that's just -2. And then the last one, you have f of 1 equals 2/5 times 1 minus 2. So you have 2/5 minus 10/5. So that's equal to -8. Oh, I'm out of the picture, so I'm going to put it right here in the bottom. It's 2/5 minus 10/5 gives you -8/5. Let f of x equal x minus 3 and let g of x equal x squared plus 3x. Perform the operation. So f of x is, or g of x is x squared plus 3x plus 2, f of x is x minus 3, and I'm just going to add it vertically. So you have x squared plus 4x minus 1. So that's going to be g of x plus f of x. The next one is you're adding it to itself. So you have x minus 3, and you have x minus 3. So you have x plus x, which is 2x. Minus 3 is minus 6. So f of x plus f of x gives you 2x minus 6. G of x is x squared plus 3x plus 2 minus x minus 3, but everything that's in the parentheses has to change value because you're adding. You're subtracting. So let me go back. So you're subtracting x minus 3, so it should be x squared. 3x minus x gives you 2x. And then 2 minus a negative 3, that's plus. So that's plus 5. The last one, you have x minus 3 minus, now you're subtracting x squared plus 3x plus 2. So you see that has to be a negative. It's on the outside. So you have a negative x squared. You have to distribute the negative. X minus 3x gives you negative 2x. And I wrote this outside, so let me fix this real quick. So you have negative x squared. X minus 3x is negative 2x. And then negative 3 minus 2 is negative 5. So I did selected problems. In class, I'll do maybe the evens or the odds, okay?